Welcome to Classic Auto Rescues. In this video, I'm showing you my 1967 Ford Mustang. This is a convertible, and I'm showing you this video so that any potential buyers can check the car out before making their drive down to Kirksville to see it. Today we are at the Adair County Veterans Memorial, and it is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here in March. I'll be showing you the ins and outs, all the flaws, then we're going to take a little ride. So we've had this car for, like I said, a couple months now. We traded a 1980 Corvette for it, and a kid, I say a kid, he's in his 20s, from Illinois, drove this car 6 hours to trade me for my Corvette. And at first I was like, that sounds a little fishy. Why would someone drive all the way to trade a nicer car for my car? Well, I don't know. Corvette was his dream car, and that's what he wanted. This car had a bunch of little flaws that just like needed addressed, like the heater didn't work, the convertible top didn't seat just right and needed adjusted, couple leaks that we fixed, and a bunch of other things. A bunch of things that just took a little bit of time and work to fix. And now this car is 100% ready to go. I've already cruised this thing quite a bit, and this thing is a blast to drive. It does have the 200 inline six, which I will show here in a minute, and what we believe to be a C4 transmission. Everything operates and works as it should. Let's go ahead and take a look at that engine bay. But before we do that, let's take a good look at the interior. The interior is really, really nice. It has these really high dollar TMI seats, both front and back. The carpet looks brand new, dash and gauges and everything looks nearly brand new. It has one of these custom audio radios that looks like a classic radio, but it has Bluetooth and aux and FM, AM, all that stuff. All the doors shut fantastic. This is an older restoration, so like I said, the car's not perfect. The paint mostly. It looks good still, but it's definitely showing its age. I'll show you all the little flaws in it, but dang, it still looks really, really good. Now the engine itself, we haven't had any issues whatsoever. It really runs like a little sewing machine. We have power steering, power brakes, front disc brakes, brand new battery. You can see the paint on this engine still looks pretty good. You got some of the old Ford blue paint down there. Everything looks great. Then we actually have dual exhaust on this little inline six. Brand new heater blower motor. I'll just let you guys pause the video wherever you need to look. There is a little bit of rust going on in our supports here. If you know Mustangs, you know that isn't bad at all. The grille is in really good shape. Some of the chrome is starting to flake. It still looks good. Bumpers still look good. I believe he said they had brand new bumpers on it. These wheels, I have no idea what they are. They're not Mustang original wheels. They look nice. I prefer original, but these are what came on the car. Looking at the lower body here, like I said, this car is an older restoration. From what we can tell, they put new quarters, new floor pan, and we think that's it body wise. Maybe some new doors or door skins. The top was definitely replaced at that time because it looks brand new. Lower quarters look good. I checked this car out really well before I bought it, and I couldn't find hardly any rust. The only rust we can really find was here on the doors. A couple bubbles here, and the other side looks pretty similar. There are some chips in the door. I don't know how you get that. I've never seen that before, this car. Coming to the other side, we have some rust bubbles on this door corner as well. But that's all for rust for the most part. We have a bunch of just little chips in the high traffic areas. Chip there. A good sized scrape right there. Let me try to get a good angle on that. I think you guys can see that. Lower quarters look good. Underneath, it looks really good as well. I hope you can see that. It looks like it had some sort of undercoating done to it at some point, because you can see it flicking off in some parts. I'll make sure to get the other side as well. Like I said, the paint's not perfect. There's some orange peel in it, for sure. But it looks really good still. Brand new gas tank, I forgot to mention that. I believe he said that the brakes were completely gone through in the past year or so. He gave me a whole list of stuff. I'll have to try to find it and throw a picture of that up. If I can't, I apologize. Oh, brand new front end and suspension, I believe he said. The hood, well, before we get to the hood, let's look at the trunk. We have some cracks in the paint here, some chipping. Doesn't look to be rust, but definitely some paint imperfections. Some cracks in the paint there. And I believe there's a rust bubble somewhere. Rust bubble there, some going on there, and a couple bubbles right there. And again, that bumper looks brand new. These tires are nearly new. I can't even get my finger to the bottom there. Let's go ahead and put down the hood, take a look at the paint on the hood. So there's a pretty good spider cracking right there. I believe that was about it for the hood. More cracks right there in the paint. It's not perfect. It's about a 60-year-old car at this point. So it's about what you'd expect. I took a guess. I said that this restoration was probably done in the 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Let's take a good look at the interior now. A real deep dive. Door cards, door panels, all in really good shape. Most of the gauges work. I believe the ones that don't are the oil pressure and maybe the alternator. But temperature works. This car runs really, really cool. Vacuum gauge works, speedometer works, and the gas works. And it's pretty accurate. Of course, with old cars, it's a good habit not to trust it 100%, so I don't really let it get below half tank. E-brake works, all the lights work, heater works very, very well. Something else to mention about this car, the hydraulic top doesn't, well, the hydraulics were taken out and converted to a manual system, and it's very easy to put up and down. I'll show that, don't mind my camera equipment. But the seats are in great shape. These are really, really high dollar seats. I think this whole kit is like $3,000 if you can find it. And they're really comfy. Again, I prefer original, but it's okay. Taking a look at the other side. More of the same. Everything's in great shape. Everything looks great. A couple chips down here. The bottom side of this vinyl top looks really good. We will be putting that down whenever we go for the ride. If you guys have any questions with this car, go ahead and put them in the comments, or I'll leave my email in the description. Then shoot me an email. Maybe we can work something out. If I remember right, every one of the lights work. Actually, I know they do. I tested them just before I listed it on Facebook Marketplace. We've had really no troubles with this car. We drove it a lot Like I said, the guy that I traded with drove it 6 hours from Chicago to meet me. And we've had no issues since then, other than little normal stuff for an old car and the things that we had to fix that they didn't. This car is a great cruiser. It starts right up even when it's cold. That 6-cylinder runs like a sewing machine. Just give it a couple pumps and start it and let her warm up and you're good to go. So to bring the convertible top down, you just pull these levers right here. They hook into the A-pillars and then you just push up. And let her fall, closes itself. We also have a, like the cover for when it's down in the trunk, so it's nice and smooth and you don't have to worry about it catching air. Before I forget, here is that trunk. We put a new trunk mat in it because theirs was just the bare bottom showing the gas tank. It looks really good as well. That was not cheap to do. Then there's the top, the convertible top. It looks really good. You can tell that thing was never ever used, or maybe used once or twice because it was very stiff. But now let's go ahead and take her for a ride. Standard starting procedure is pretty easy. Give it a pump or two and hit the key. Fires right up. I'll go ahead and walk you around so you can hear that dual exhaust. That dual exhaust does sound really good. We'll go ahead and grab you out of the tripod here. For a 6-cylinder, it sounds really, really meaty. This car isn't powerful or fast by any means. It gets where you need to go. It's a cruiser. It's no hot rod, but it does sound great. There might be a slight exhaust leak. You can kind of hear there. I don't know if it's the sound of the engine or if it's a leak. But it sounds great, it runs great, and it drives even better. So let's go ahead and hit the road. All right, we can go ahead and buckle up. All seat belts are fully functional, so this thing is 100% road legal. No issues there whatsoever. It passed our personal inspection as well as the state inspection. Probably should have went left, but that's okay. All blinkers work. Wipers work. Radio works, give it a push. Wait, then we'll find your station.
To leave early. Want to go back and listen to
You can hear it going. This car is an absolute blast to drive. This is the only convertible I've ever had, or ever driven actually. So it's a pretty nice experience. It looks like my camera number 1 is kind of falling over, can't handle the vibration. So camera number 2, you're gonna have to do the heavy lifting. We're just driving through the center of town here, going for a nice little cruise. Then we'll get on up to some highway speeds once we get out of town here. Brakes work great. Never had a problem with the brakes. They work great. Like I said, power brakes and then disc brakes on the front. Power steering works very, very well. Not even a whine. I'll go ahead and turn the blower motor on for you. I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear me flapping down there. You probably can't hear it, but it works great. The opera mirrors or the vent windows, or opera windows, not opera mirrors, but the opera windows or vent windows, whichever you want to call them, they work great. Even for a 50, 60-year-old car, there's not a whole lot of shakes or vibrations or anything. for being a 6-cylinder car, it does still operate pretty well, accelerate pretty well. I mean, it's not the fastest, but it'll definitely get you where you need to go, and it'll definitely be going the speed limit. This is an amazing driving car. I really hate to sell it, but I don't need another car. Plus, convertibles, some people like them and love them, some people don't. I do love it. It's not super practical for being in well, I guess I'm in the Midwest, but I'm in the northern of the Midwest, so it's cold half the time of the year and can't enjoy it as much as I'd like. Let's see if we can beat that green light. Put the hammer down! I'm really only going like 50 miles an hour. Sorry if you're shaking a lot. This car you're on a shaky window. It's a 60-year-old car, it's gonna shake, but it feels great. There's not an overabundance of vibrations or anything. We're doing 60 miles an hour right now, no problem. We can go faster, up to 70. It just takes a minute to get there, because like I said, it's not no hot rod, it's not a race car. It's a good cruiser. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. Brakes work really, really well. I really can't say enough good things about this car. If I had to go to California tomorrow, I wouldn't hesitate. As long as we have good weather, because of course it doesn't have AC. It's about 65, 70 degrees right now in Missouri, where I'm at. Absolute perfect cruising weather. I might even drive it to work tonight. We'll see. But it's handling these hills no problem, very well. Temperature is still perfect. This car runs really cool. We've been putting new temp sending unit and thermostat, that's the word I'm looking for. Put a new thermostat in it as well, and because we thought it just wasn't working, but it just runs cool. And I've only driven it during winter months, so it hasn't had to handle 100-degree temps yet. At least I haven't had to take in 100-degree temps yet. I'm sure it does just fine. Hey, Ford Taurus station wagon. You don't see a whole lot of those anymore. This radio also does have a charging port down here, so if you need to charge your phone, you just plug her in the back and you're good to go. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comments or email me. My email's in the description. I'll also put the Facebook ad in the description as well. I'm not trying to hide anything about this car. This car, it runs very, very well. It drives very well. This is one of the cars that I was kind of considering keeping, but I'd rather have the money and use that money to hopefully make more money. So I'll have a whole lifetime to buy another Mustang. This one's really perfect as a cruiser because a lot of convertibles, they're targeted to make the perfect show cars, but you can't get those without spending $40,000, $50,000. So for this price, I think it's very reasonable. The car isn't perfect, but that just gives you no excuse to take the car out and enjoy it and drive it. That's what cars are meant for, right? To enjoy, and love, and to use. And the worst thing you can do for a car is let it sit. So getting it out, let it stretch its legs, is what you gotta do. You can even daily this car if you really wanted to. I'd see no issue with that. Because it was even starting just fine whenever it was having negative 20-degree weather. Now, I wouldn't leave it sitting outside and let it get covered with snow, but keep it in your garage, pull it out. I wouldn't have any issue doing that myself. That's what I've been doing all winter. I've gotten an insane amount of thumbs up driving this car. I took it around the block just the other day, just to get the battery charged and everything, and I got more thumbs up just then compared to any other car that I've had on this channel. Transmission shifts absolutely amazing. Of course, it's not as smooth as a brand new car, but it's about as smooth as this car was whenever it was brand new. Rides really nice, honestly. We've hit some pretty big bumps, and while it doesn't cushion everything, it kind of floats. Not as much as a Cadillac, but it definitely doesn't sting like a Beamer. I wish I would have shown all the things we did to this car along the way, because this car has been really, really nice, and it just needed just a couple little things that make it from an okay car to a really nice car to drive and operate. And even during the winter with that nice heater, it's really great. Now this was my first Mustang. Hopefully it won't be my last. My dad always said that Mustangs were for girls, but I heavily disagree, and I think he disagrees too now, because he never had a Mustang before, and I think this one kind of changed his mind. Now, I think he has that idea because of whenever he was a kid, these cars were everywhere, and especially convertibles, they were targeted by females. Well, something more like a fastback would have been targeted more by like a guy, but base coupe would have been targeted more by females at the time. car is such a pleasure to drive. I can't believe it. I hate getting rid of it. Every time I drive it, I want to get rid of it even less. Going into reverse, no issue. Kind of throws you into it, but it's an old car. That's what they do. Back into drive. No problem for this car. Like I said before, power steering works great. No problem. You can really do it with one finger. If it wasn't such a big steering wheel. There we go. Get a little bit of grip on it there. No problem whatsoever. This is such a great car. It really is. You will not be disappointed by any means. Fuck. Well, I thought I had camera number 1 operational, but I forgot to turn it on, so we're gonna do a little bit more joyriding. I want you guys to get that, see those different angles of the car, just so you can really know exactly what you're coming and looking at or coming to buy. I don't want there to be any surprises. This car operates so well, and I really hate to downplay it or anything like that. I know I'm not talking a whole lot. Hope you're okay with that. We're kind of just cruising. You guys can see how the car drives without some annoying jibber jabber. I'm not much of a conversationist anyways. Unless you're talking about guns or cars, and then I'll talk your ear off. Yes, this car would be nice if it had a V8, but even with the inline-6, it's a blast to drive. You're not going to get anywhere in a crazy hurry, but it does all your highway speeds. It gets better gas mileage. It's easier to work on. appreciate how steep this hill is. There's some geese over there. Brakes have no problem whatsoever. Holy shnikes. You guys see all them cops? Hope you're not coming for me. I don't think I got my insurance papers on me. Yeah, I ain't got my insurance papers on me. Oh, my registration. Must be back at home in the folder. Actually kind of scared me for a second because they flashed their lights at me. I thought they did. I think they were somehow communicating with one another. Reverse works great. Yes, it kind of throws you into it, but that's just how it is with old cars. All right, guys, I really appreciate you coming on this cruise with me. If you have any questions, like I said, throw them in the comments, email me. I'll do my very best to get back to you. This really is an amazing car. I'd have no problem driving this thing across the country today. Holy shnikes, there's another cop car. Something serious must be going on. I might have to go drive past that. Kind of curious. This car looks absolutely stunning. As long as you know that this car isn't perfect and it has its flaws cosmetically, I think you'll be very you'll be very happy with it. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't think of the words that I'm trying to use, but man, this car, it really is a smoke show. I only have that window up because it's holding my other camera. This car is an absolute beauty. I really appreciate you guys coming on another cruise of Classic Auto Rescues. If you liked the video, please subscribe, please like, show any support that you can. We're almost to 600 subscribers, and all the time I'm buying, selling different cars, and I always try to video the process and make videos of the cruising like you see here. So if you like the video, please subscribe. Let me know if you like the car. Let me know if you've ever had a 67 Mustang or any Mustang at all. Go ahead and let me know. I appreciate you guys watching, going on a cruise with me. Have a great day.